我跟你讲。
Hi, morning. Good morning, everybody.
Hi, Miss. Morning.
Hi, morning.
Good morning, Miss.
Good morning, Manda. Good morning, Shiying.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay.
Okay, nampak tak? Cuba on webcam.
Okay, sekejap sebentar. Sebentar. Right. Boleh?
Boleh. Finally. Okay. Okay, kau dah ready? Aku bagi lagi 2 minit.
Okay je.
Okay je. Okay.
Uh-uh.
Okay, tunggu jap. Okay.
You guys student sikun apa? Ada sikun ke kat Taylor College?
Ni student kat Taylor's University, Taylor's College, diploma in communication. Diorang ambil
Okay.
online journalism.
Alright.
Sekejap aku copy kau ni, tak boleh buat webinar pula kat JBU. Benda kau.
Sorry lah bro. iMac ni tak boleh terima webcam webinar tak asal.
Orang ada laptop mahal ni.
Mana ada dia semua bernama je. Aku tak mampu.
Motif kau tak mampu. Kau lebih daripada mampu. Okey, jap. Sekejap. Okay, Sana. Okay. Everybody's here. There's 11 of us. Okay, with that, very good morning to everybody. We are welcoming Mr. Syed Iylia Hariz, which is, he is the most renowned journalist as of today, I've known him for quite some time. And he used to be my classmate during our degree in journalism class in UITM. With that, I am going to give a brief introduction of Mr. Syed Iylia Hariz. Okay, with that, he is now the head of visual content multimedia department. He works in BERNAMA from 2018 up till today. He was BERNAMA's Metro Desk chief as well. He used to be a journalist. He's now a journalist as well for BERNAMA Wise Services, and he has several mentions, honorable mentions, and he for Prime Minister's Hibiscus Award for the year of 2014 and 2015, and more importantly, he represents the youth journalists at the National Journalist Day Hawana in 2018, and he spoke in front of Mr. Najib Razak, which is the former Prime Minister who is being charged with 1 MDB political scandal. Now, everybody please say hi to Mr. Syed Iylia.
Hello.
Hi everyone. Nice to meet you all.
Basically, they won't open their webcam because they're
Okay, no
quite
problem.
shy and it's in the morning. So
Yeah.
you and I will only open our webcams. So, Mr. Syed, can you give a quick introduction about yourself to the online journalism students?
All right. Okay. Hi everyone. Good morning. My name is Iylia. I work as a journalist at the news agency, which is called BERNAMA. Okay. In which we are currently one of the largest media organization in Malaysia. As of now, inshallah, one day we can go global. So I started my career as a journalist since when we grad, Hariz? 20,
2012.
okay, 2012. So I did my internship here at Bernama. I was a broadcast journalist in the Bernama TV, which is channel 502 Astro. And up till there, I started my journey as a journalist. At first, I was quite, skeptical and quite scared because when you heard about journalists is writing. I know most of you guys maybe question yourselves whether that can I write news or how. So I started my journey there, but I was lucky. I started as a broadcast journalist before I went to wire services. Wire services is considered where we will do reporting based on the needs of the clients, as well as we are as a statutory body, BERNAMA. We also uh, cover news mostly on government's policies and government actions and everything. So that's about it. I'm 30 years old. Okay.
Are you?
Right. So it's quite young. So there are a lot of seniors out there. So yeah, that's all.
Okay, it's quite difficult, people, for Mr. Syed in journalism per se to become the head of a desk or head of department in journalism is quite difficult, as I've known throughout my study years, because it takes someone with a lot of 10 to 20 years of experience to reach to what Mr. Syed's position is today, which he can acquire in a minimum amount number of years, which is really to be proud of, which is really good. And can you tell me the challenges of a day-to-day basis in being a journalist, Mr. Syed, or what do you do now on a day-to-day basis?
Right. Okay. Challenges. We start with the challenges first. Right now, we are in a different era. Okay. People will say that uh, journalism now is everyone can be a journalist. That's true. Basically, everyone could be a journalist. As long as you has the news, you are a journalist. Basically. So in this era, where we are in uh, globalization through the phones, anything. Information is widely spread, all right? And the additional to that, okay, social media, okay, embracing social media is one part have changed journalism in a whole aspect, all right? I used to speak with my editors where they share their experience during the period where there's no internet, all right? And news is very limited. You only have, for example, like television, you got RTM only, and then during that period as well, you got Utusan. You don't have a lot like Malaysia Kini, you don't have Malaysian Insiders, so it's very limited. So the competitiveness during that period was not that challenging.
Mhm.
And now with the form of social media, even netizens, okay, are calling themselves journalists because they're able to tell news live, using Facebook Live, so the challenges nowadays is that we are facing internet connection unstable. Okay, never mind. So the challenges nowadays is that we're facing a crisis where there are too many information out there. All right. And if we see that how people are moving towards news, we are seeing that people like sensational news more rather than educational or rather than business news. Sensational news is considered top priority for most of the people in Malaysia, and that is where it's attracting the viewership as well as the readership. So, as you guys know out there, even the print media is having a tough time right now. As you see, Malay Mail has converted their way of business from print to digital, and then Utusan has closed their operation. Media, several mainstream media because of this, because of where I always feel that I always going to put this point. News is free. Everyone can get news. No one is going to be paying news. No one is subscribing news.
Yeah.
So that is one of the challenges. How can we maintain, or how can we still maintain our organization if news is free? What kind of business model should we venture into? So right now, it's quite challenge. It's quite a challenge for the media. It's not just in Malaysia. It's all around the world. Everyone is facing this challenge, and we are trying to embrace and we are trying to adapt. The depth of the challenge is that we try to move, okay, our business, our way of doing news rather than just a conventional type of ways. Nowadays, journalists is all about multi-skills, all right? Because a lot of skills. It's not just about writing. Writing is okay, it's great to have. But multi-skills meaning by nowadays, if you watch news, I want to ask you guys now, would you rather to read a 10 paragraph news, or would you rather to see it in visual of how the story is being told?
Yeah.
Those are your choice, right? So it's a problem there. It's a problem where nowadays writing is considered, it's okay, but if you put in visuals, for example, like videos, and then you have what do you call this, interactive web, sorry, interactive website platforms. So these are the skills which we need. And now most of the organizations, media organizations or media industry are looking for reporters who have this kind of skills. Skills is not just about writing. In a certain way which is can be which is considered attractive for the viewers. And then if, for example, if they have ideas in creating their interactive web portals or segments, those kind of skills is needed. So I really wanted to spread this thing. If you want to be in a journalist, in a journalist industry, well, you have to have a lot of skills in order for the company or the organization to benefit from us. So right now I'm in the digital media, all right? So BERNAMA's digital media is that we are maintaining as well as supplying content for our social media platforms, which is in Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And it's quite hard because and like normal content doesn't work in social media. So we have to find different ways. Different ways meaning by in Instagram especially, you need to do stories, Insta stories. How do you do Insta stories? If you ask 40-year-old guy to do, hey, can you do Insta stories? You can't. And then you have to have the skill to do Insta stories. How creative are you to do those Insta stories? So those are the skills are needed. Same goes with Facebook and Twitter. Facebook, for example, if you could do live FB, it's much more valuable than you could do live TV nowadays.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of these skills are needed for you guys to put it in order for you to be able in this new journalist era.
So,
Yeah,
so you're saying that writing skills is not enough. So you need to have shooting skills, video. You need to know. You need to have a great knowledge of Facebook, Instagram, and how to tweet as well your news, right?
because this is already been there's a research done, and all of the news obtained or being read from are all social media. There's no more people. I mean, it's not normal. There's just a few people who started, who still subscribing newspapers, but most of them will come from digital platforms. And social media is number one in spreading news to the public.
Nice, nice. Would you say, Mr. Syed, before I open the questions to our online journalists in this particular class, would you say
Mhm.
journalism is a dying industry as of now? Would you say that, because so many people are being being put out from work and things like that? Would it be a worthwhile thing to be a journalist as of today? Would you say that?
Okay. Actually, I beg to differ. Journalism is not a dying industry. Embrace those you have to embrace those change. So journalism is not the industry. It's being more relevant. It's just you have to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions from our online journalists? Nick, Liwei, James, Angel. You have questions for Mr.
No,
Iylia?
no questions.
No.
Do you guys have questions?
You guys have questions? Just throw at me. Inshallah, I can try.
Yeah. As of now, no. No questions.
Not
Okay.
right now.
Not right now. Okay. With that, I'm going to continue to ask you, Mr. Syed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So since you're the head of visual and multimedia content department, can you tell us how many staff that you have under you, and do you also go out and report news and things like that, even though you're the head of department?
Okay. I'm the head of visual content, meaning by any content which comes to visual will come to me first before I approve to let it be published. So we got the head of digital department, okay, and she's still young, and right now total strength that we have here is about 30%, including with visual editors as well as graphic editors. We really need those because digital content, you need a lot of visual editors and graphic editors because they have to supply all of those materials and assets for videos to make it much more interesting. And in terms of reporters, basically, our reporters are the digital reporters have to have their own segment shows. Apart from that as well, they are all considered as inputters for the social media as well as the guys who's going to be doing a lot of monitoring works for the social media, right? Monitoring works is a hard work. Social media updates each minute, and you have more than about more than 3 social medias. You have to observe, monitor this because any kind of situation which is going into the social media, if it's breaking news, we have to be the one to break first. Okay, so apart from that as well, we are also content developers. Like for example, we're doing infographics. Okay, and then apart from that as well, if for example there are any things that we have to do live on the ground, if there's something which is considered as a very important news coverage, I will be the one that will be on the ground. For example, like Najib case on SRC, and then apart from that, coverage of the political scenario here, and then we'll also do live or during this PKP, all right? So what is the situation around Kuala Lumpur and Klang Valley as of now? So even I'm the head of content visual, I have also responsible, which I'm being responsible to also gather news. Apart from, we also have our reporters at the wire services, at the TV, and radio, in order for them to coverage the whole of Malaysia. We have more than about 300 reporters in BERNAMA. Yeah.
That's interesting to know. Okay, Mr. Syed. All right.
Kids also, yeah.
With that, would you say how is the environment like environment of journalism, especially in the newsroom as of today? As I could remember, when you want to become a junior reporter, you'll be bullied around to not do news first. Then for quite some time after you adapt to the environment, then you'll be allowed to do your news. How is the environment now? Is it still tense? Is it still I don't know? Is cursing still around in the environment?
Yeah, back in the days, it's too tense, I think, because back in the days is that editors know more of what they wanted, but now it's much more tense because you're around the clock. Someone tweeted, or for example, I'm going to give you an example. If a celebrity tweeted that, okay, he's in relationship with someone, that's just news for the entertainment period, and celebrities like to post anything in the social media. That's one part. It's very intense because why? If you miss that story, it's considered you missed it. So you're gonna get whacked lah. So it's not a physical whack. It's just you're gonna get whacked. Saying that, okay, what we lose to this story because why? In the social media game, if you are able to break it first, you get the audience to be with you. And when you get the audience to be with you there, they will try to always have follow-ups with you. And from there, that is where you able to break and in the social media, he wins what. So it's quite intense nowadays. In this current situation, in this political scenario, everyone is trying to get their scoop. Scoop is considered a word where usually if you guys are in journalists, you need to understand scoop, jolo, and everything. These terms. So everyone will try to get that scoop. And in order for them to try to get that scoop, they always monitor social media because social media is like a webcam for the public figures. You just snap something and they will tell you, okay, this guy is here. So let's check it out.
Correct. Nicely being said. Yeah. Nicely said. Okay. With that, can you tell us some proud moments? What kind of proud moments of you being a journalist? What kind of issues that you cover and people actually notice it?
Wow. Okay. Just one or two. The first one is I was a junior reporter. If I'm not mistaken, was 2013, if I'm not mistaken. During that period, it was a drought period where we're having shortage of water around the states, even in Klang Valley as well. And during that period as well, I've managed to obtain an information about this El Nino. During that period, no one knows about this El Nino weather, in which they will give you extreme weather. For a few months, if it's going to be drought season, it's going to be very drought. It's going to be very dry. So I break the story about El Nino in 2013, and not most, all of the newspaper are using the story. And Alhamdulillah, due to that story, it had undertaken in order to research about that El Nino thing. And Alhamdulillah, it's true. So the next year, El Nino comes into Malaysia and we already been prepared. Alhamdulillah. And apart from that, news about, I did a coverage, okay? This is one of the best thing about journalists. You are able to go to areas which usually the public don't have the access. For example, if I'm not mistaken, let me check. Okay, in 2013 as well. Man, 2013 is my lucky year. Typhoon Haiyan is one of the typhoon. A fifth level typhoon hit the Philippines in Tacloban district, where almost 100,000 death toll were counted. And it was a ground zero area. It was a wild phenomenon because I had never ever experienced such disastrous environment. You don't have water, you don't have electricity, you don't have clean food, right? Everything was ground zero. So I've been posed to that area for 5 days to do coverage on on the Typhoon Haiyan in Tacloban, Philippines. And in order for your survival there, you have to have good communication skills because you need to survive there. There's no water, there's no electricity. How are you going to survive? So there are WHO who had camped there, as well as several health organizations from other countries.
Is it charging now? Sorry?
So coming back,
Okay.
even houses, which is about 4 stories high, had turned to only 1 story. So that is how disastrous that place. And bodies were all over the place. And due to the lack of the body bags, and they cannot like touch those bodies. Because why? Because you don't have the body bag in order to prevent any germs or virus coming into the safe area. So we have to just let it be until the body bags will be fly in from outside to Tacloban. So the smell of bodies is my first time as well to have that experience. And you know, when you will body doesn't take long for them to burst out. So a lot of things I experienced there, which I up till now, it's 2013, now it's 2020, I will still remember that
Meaning,
smell.
meaning,
Yeah.
meaning to say it was an eye opener. Even if you're not a journalist, you wouldn't experience firsthand of
Yes.
experience things
If you're
like
not a journalist, you wouldn't have this experience. Unless we are the one who are the victims in typhoon.
that.
And yeah. And then apart from that as well, I also will gain access to go to, for example, flood situation. In 2014, we have the worst flood in Kelantan. I did a coverage for Malaysia at I forgot that area. uh, the flight in Kelantan was very, very supernatural. They never seen this before. So I have the opportunity to cover that.
Nice, nice. So you're saying that if you're not a journalist, I have another 10 minutes with you,
Okay.
Mr. Syed. So if you're not a journalist, you could not experience firsthand of events, important events, you know,
Yes. True.
around the community, which is really, really good if you are a journalist because
Yeah.
it gives you the ticket to see things. And would you say it's an eye opener being a journalist? The way you see society is much more broader.
Yes, it's true. Because you will also be able if to not just to do coverage in Malaysia itself. Sometimes you'll be given the opportunity to even do coverage around the world. The I've been to the Central Asia before in Tajikistan, and their community there have taught me a lot of able to survive their ways in a mountainous area, you know, and from there as well, you also know about culture, how the people basically adapt their culture, and we have to respect those cultures. If you go to Vietnam, how is it? If you go to Laos, and then if you go to Arab Saudi, how is the culture there? So it really gives me a wider view lah, about the community or people
Nice,
actually.
nice. Last words for online future
Ush,
journalists from the head of BERNAMA. Okay, just to let you know, guys, Syed Iylia was the top of my class during journalism days.
nah,
Uh, he is the most promising journalist that our lecturers have seen, and he is what he is now
nah,
today.
no, no, no,
Uh,
no, no.
with that, last words of advice for all of our online journalists in our class today, Mr. Syed.
7 minutes. I'm going to just say this. Whatever things that you're going to be, whatever things that you want to venture, there's one thing that I always put this as a soul to everything, every job which I did is to never give up. If you really want to do something, you have to put all the strength to do it. Don't care about others saying anything, saying it's not going to work, it's not going to, just try something new. Failure is a must, basically. Failure gives you the ability to evolve, all right? To evolve and to learn it. Okay, you learn from failure. You don't learn from achievements. You learn from failure to be able to do those achievements. So I did a lot of failures during back in the days, and you guys are still young, uh, and you guys got a long way to go. But whatever things that you're going to be pouring into or you want to focus on, you want to be a journalist, you want to be a broadcast journalist, if you want to be for example, newsreader, or if you want to do business even especially, it's all about you need to not to break down. Just work it. Yeah.
Yeah, just work it through. Wow, wise words from Mr. Syed Iylia Hariz. We have like 6 minutes left, so I would like to thank you. If you guys have any questions, for Mr. Syed Iylia,
Yeah.
you have any questions?
If you guys got any questions, just yeah, that's me off.
Uh,
Because question is very important, you know. Being a journalist, you need to ask questions a lot.
Yes, in journalism, it's important to always ask questions because if you don't ask questions, including what you say, stupid questions, you can't know, the truth and nothing but the truth. Would you say that is correct, Mr. Syed?
Actually, there's no stupid questions. Question is
Yeah,
question. All right.
yeah,
You
correct.
want to know something.
Yeah,
because it's not stupid, because we cannot evaluate every person to have the same knowledge as you guys, as the
correct.
same as you, right? So
Right.
question is question. There's no stupid questions. If you
Yeah.
want to gain knowledge, you ask questions.
Nice, nice. All right, with that, Mr. Syed, we have 5 minutes left, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
thank you so much for spending your precious time with us. We know you as a journalist, you also work as frontliners in this pandemic of COVID-19. So we would like to wish you a very, very good day, and please be safe. Thank you very, very much for sharing your experience with us. It has been
No
a
problem
great
at all.
pleasure seeing you for the longest time, and finally we are meeting in this meetup session with you. Thank you very much, Mr. Syed. Have a really great day.
Bye.
Okay, bye everybody. And